Beloved, there are moments in life when hope feels distant, when prayers seem unanswered, when doors close without explanation, when the weight of sorrow presses heavily upon your heart. In such moments, the world tells you to rely on your strength. But your strength grows weary, your understanding falters, your plans fall apart. Yet hope in Jesus Christ does not depend on circumstances. Christ is not a passing comfort. He is not a temporary solution. He is the eternal anchor of the soul. When storms rise, anchors are not removed. They are relied upon. So it is with hope in Christ. Hope in Jesus is not wishful thinking. It is the quiet certainty that God is present even when unseen. It is trusting that He is working even when nothing appears to change. It is believing that light exists even in the darkest night. Consider the disciples in the storm. The waves roared, the wind threatened to consume them, and Jesus slept. To human eyes, it seemed He did not care. But when He rose, He spoke peace, and the storm obeyed. Your storm is not greater than His voice. Hope does not mean you will never face sorrow. It means sorrow will not have the final word. Hope does not mean you will never feel weak. It means weakness will not define you. Hope does not mean the night disappears instantly. It means morning is certain. Christ meets you in the waiting. He sits with you in the silence. He gathers every tear you have cried. He knows every fear you have hidden. You are not invisible to Him. Even when life feels delayed, God is not late. Even when prayers seem unanswered, God is not silent. Even when doors close, God is not absent. Hope in Jesus Christ is the assurance that what is broken can be restored. What is lost can be redeemed. What is wounded can be healed. What is weary can find rest. The cross itself is the greatest proof of hope. To the world, it looked like defeat. To heaven, it was victory. To human eyes, it was the end. To God, it was the beginning of redemption. If God can bring resurrection from a tomb, He can bring new life from your pain. Do not measure your future by your present struggle. Do not measure God's faithfulness by today's difficulty. Do not measure hope by what you see. Hope is not in what you see. Hope is in who He is. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change with your circumstances. He does not withdraw when you fail. He does not abandon you when you feel unworthy. He remains. So if your heart is tired, rest in Him. If your faith feels small, bring it to Him. If your hope feels faint, ask Him to renew it. A small light still overcomes great darkness. And Christ is not a small light. He is the light of the world. No darkness in your life is stronger than His presence. No past is greater than His mercy. No fear is louder than His promise. Hold on, not to your strength, but to His, not to your understanding, but to His wisdom, not to your plans, but to His purpose. Hope in Jesus Christ is not fragile, it is eternal. And even now, in ways you cannot yet see, He is working all things towards your good. So lift your eyes. The night is not forever. The storm will not remain. The sorrow will not have the last word. Christ is with you. Christ is for you. Christ is your hope, and hope in Him will never disappoint. You may not see it yet, but God is healing you. Every silent tear, every sleepless night, every moment you felt alone, He was there. Even when your heart was heavy and your faith felt weak, His love never left you. Healing doesn't always come like lightning. Sometimes it comes like the sunrise, slow, gentle, and full of promise. The pain you carried is not your ending. The struggle you faced is not your identity. The storm you survived is not your future. God is restoring your peace. He is rebuilding your strength. He is renewing your hope. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are deeply loved. Trust the process. Trust His timing. Trust His plan. Your healing has already begun. In the quiet moments when your heart feels heavy and the world seems distant, remember this: God is with you. He sees the battles you never speak about. He hears the prayers you whisper through tears. He understands the pain you hide behind your smile. You may feel forgotten, but you are chosen. You may feel weak, but His strength carries you. You may feel lost, but He is guiding your steps. Even in the darkest night, His light surrounds you. Even in your lowest valley, His love holds you. Do not give up. Do not lose hope. Do not believe the lie that you are alone. alone. God walks beside you today, tomorrow, and always. When your heart is tired and your strength feels gone, come to me. I am the calm in your storm, the light in your darkness, the voice that calls your name when you feel forgotten. I have seen every tear you tried to hide and heard every prayer you were too afraid to speak aloud. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. You are not without purpose. Before you were born, I knew you. In every step you take, I guide you. In every fall, I lift you again. Do not measure your worth by the world's standards. Your value is written in my love for you, a love that does not fade, does not fail, and does not leave. When fear whispers, remember my promises. When doubt rises, remember my faithfulness. When hope feels distant, remember that I am near. Hold on a little longer. Trust me a little deeper. Believe that what I have prepared for you is greater than what you have lost. I am with you in your waiting, in your healing, in your rising, and I will never let you go. Beloved child, when the weight of the world presses upon your shoulders and your spirit grows weary, remember that you are not walking alone. I am beside you in every moment, even when your eyes cannot see me and your heart struggles to feel my presence. I know your pain, your questions, and the silent battles you fight within. I am the breath that steadies you when anxiety rises, the gentle whisper that calms your racing thoughts, and the light that breaks through the shadows of despair. When you feel weak, my strength surrounds you. When you feel lost, my hand guides you back to the path of life and peace. Do not believe the lie that your suffering has no meaning. Every tear you shed is known to me, and every trial you endure is held within my compassionate gaze. I am working within your story, shaping endurance, deepening compassion, and awakening a hope that cannot be destroyed by hardship or time. Come to me with your burdens, not only the heavy ones you cannot carry, but also the hidden wounds you pretend do not exist. Lay them before me without fear or shame. My love does not condemn you. It restores you. My mercy does not weaken you. It makes you whole and steadfast. When the future feels uncertain and the road ahead disappears into fog, trust that I am already there. I prepare a way where you see none. I open doors no human hand could unlock. I place strength within you that you did not know you possessed, so you may rise again with courage and renewed purpose. Hold tightly to hope, even if it feels as small as a flickering flame. I will breathe upon it until it becomes a steady fire within your soul. Let that hope remind you that darkness is never final, and that dawn always follows the longest night, bringing warmth, clarity, and new beginnings. You are loved beyond measure, cherished beyond understanding, and held more securely than you can imagine. Nothing you face today can separate you from my love. Walk forward with faith, rest in my peace, and remember always, I am with you, now and forever. Share the love you receive with those around you, for kindness multiplies and mercy transforms hearts. Be patient with the weak, gentle with the broken, and generous with your encouragement. As you pour out compassion, you will discover that your own wounds are healing, and your spirit is growing stronger in ways you never expected. Trust that I am making all things new, even within you. My peace will guard your heart and mind forever. You are safe. Beloved, I see your pain, hear your silent prayers, and hold every tear. Do not lose heart. My love is your shelter, my peace your strength. You are not forgotten. You are deeply loved. Rise with hope, walk in faith, and rest in my presence today and always. Hold on to hope, not as a fragile wish, but as a living trust in Jesus Christ. The storm will pass, the night will end, the light will rise. And when it does, you will discover that Christ was with you every step of the way.